Have they apologized for defrauding Americans in the last election? I'm not talking about the vote. I'm talking about holding back the hard drive. It's the same people that are prosecuting Donald Trump and me and everyone around Donald Trump who are doing it now. They lied about the Ukraine conversation. It was a completely innocent conversation if they hadn't been hiding the hard drive. I told the truth about it. They lied about the hard drive. I told you that it was true, honest. It contained over 100 crimes committed by the man in the White House, who is the biggest criminal to sit in the White House in history.
The same DOJ that hid the laptop, hid the hard drive from the American people, changed an election possibly, very likely, is now prosecuting this. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. It's just a different election. Obviously, the goal with the lies about the Hunter Biden laptop being Russian disinformation or misinformation, the goal was to ensure that Joe Biden became president, and there he is sitting in the White House. And we know, Rob, that 1 in 6 people who voted for Joe Biden in 2020, had they known that laptop was real, would have changed their vote, and there would be a different president. It would be Donald Trump, not Joe Biden in the White House. And obviously, the case is the same now. They're just going about it in a much more blatant and honestly terrifying way for this country, because they're not even trying to hide it at this point. They're so open about what they're doing. They're willing to just shave a little fat off the United States Constitution whenever it fits in with whatever they need on the left, with however they can win an election. And I think the goal here is twofold. It's obviously to prevent Donald Trump from becoming president again. We all know that. We've all seen that with multiple indictments against him now. But I think the other goal, and it started with the January 6th stuff, is to make sure that if anybody ever dares question anything that the government tells you again in the future, you better watch it, because it might be Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani getting mugshots today. Tomorrow, it could be you. So there is a very nefarious two-pronged goal here, I think, with all of it. And it's just so sad that we found ourselves here in America.
It certainly is. And tomorrow your father-in-law is going to surrender himself. We understand. I think it's going to happen sometime in the evening tomorrow. I'm curious how this process goes for him. I'm really curious what's he going to do with this mugshot. I think he should just smile ear to ear as just the biggest middle finger right back at all of this.
Well, it will be the most famous mugshot in the history of the world. I think everyone can agree on that. And as ridiculous and absurd as it is, and you were just talking about my father-in-law's truth post where he talks about, why do you need a mugshot? You need it to identify someone who people may not know. So if they need to be caught somewhere else, if they try to flee, that's why you set a bond. That's why you have a mugshot. It's absurd to think that Donald Trump, who is one of the most famous people in the world, if not the most famous in the world, would ever need one. But we know the goal with this, it is to try and embarrass him in some way. But I think it's going to backfire on them just like everything else does, Rob. This mugshot, you wait for it. It's going to be on posters in people's dorm rooms. It's going to be on T-shirts. It is going to be a flag flown by people who love this country because they're backing Donald Trump. They understand how important this is. They understand how absurd all of this is. And it's exactly why they're going to rally behind him and they're going to vote for him in 2024.
Well said. I hope it's a big smile. I really do. Lara Trump, always good to see you. Thank you so much.
You got it.